And yeah, I mean, that's true. It most certainly is a PC, but it also is not a PC. It most certainly is a PC, but it also is not a PC. But it is, but it's not.
But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. But it
Do you remember when Portal 2 came out? Do you remember the trailers and ads for that game?
It's been a long time.
No, actually, because back then I was a dumb kid. You expect me to remember that shit when I was a little dumb kid? And even if I did remember when the trailers for Portal 2 dropped, I failed to see how this has to do with the Steam Deck, so I'm gonna have to ask you to get to the point.
How have you been?
The Valve that knew how to bring attention to their products. The Valve that could build hype and move units.
And they're literally doing just that with the Steam Deck. What makes this occasion so different? This thing is honestly revolutionary, so I fail to see how the opposite is true. It does bring attention to the product. I mean, it's literally gotten a surprise announcement out of it, which attracted several people. And Valve is still very much capable of moving units, so I don't know where the fuck you're coming from with that.
In my last video, I opined the fact that Valve's marketing around the Steam Deck has been pretty awful. Now, Valve isn't reaching the demographic that I think would be the most solid in terms of Steam Deck's value proposition.
So I went ahead and checked out that video you were referring to, and the argument you made in that video was that the Steam Deck's marketing is terrible because it's not appealing to console gamers, considering the fact that the Steam Deck will not have any exclusive titles. That in of itself is a pretty oblivious argument because no shit it's not appealing to console gamers. It's appealing to the handheld and PC demographic. Why would Valve want to appeal to an entirely different demographic of players when they know exactly which demographic they're appealing to? The Steam Deck is a handheld PC, so therefore it is for PC players and or people that like playing on handheld systems. Those two things are completely different compared to console gaming, so your argument is useless.
But I stopped myself from going off on a tangential rant last time. However, you guys left comment after comment asking for that very rant. So I guess here it is.
Why?
I mean, I get that you want to satisfy your audience, but just because your audience wants you to do something, that doesn't mean you have to do it. I got people wanting me to respond to the One Boom again, and I say fuck that shit. The One Boom's channel is dog shit.
Now, before I get all red in the face and say something that you guys are going to get upset about, let me preface all of this by saying, I understand that Valve is struggling to meet demand for the deck anyway, and that might make for what I have to say here a moot point. However, Valve's strategy here is sending mixed messages, and they need to decide who they want the Steam Deck to be for.
No, it's pretty fucking obvious that they're trying to appeal to PC and handheld players. I mean, it would be neat if you could provide examples on how their messages are mixed based on their marketing strategies, but I doubt that's gonna be the case, huh?
See, Valve's marketing strategy thus far has been to say, the Steam Deck is a portable PC. And yeah, I mean, that's true. It most certainly is a PC, but it also is not a PC.
God, I hate it when people do this. This is like the equivalent of the well yes but actually no meme, but it's used in such a retarded way. Gee, I can't wait for your retarded argument on how the Steam Deck is a PC but it's actually not. Fucking hell, this is gonna be a pain to get through.
With few notable exceptions, PC manufacturers include Windows on their systems for maximum compatibility.
No, that's not the only thing that makes a PC a PC. A PC by definition is a personal computer, which is used for multiple purposes such as programming, gaming, and business purposes. It's not just the Windows OS specifically that makes it PC. There's the Apple software, Linux, and so on and so forth. And if you even bother to do the slightest of research, then you'd know that the Steam Deck can literally download Windows onto it thanks to Proton. So maybe maybe you're just a fucking moron.
And there are a few crowds in the computing space more myopically focused on maximizing the potential of their PC than the gamers.
Well, the Steam Deck's hardware is pretty solid already if that's what you're referring to, as shown here. And so what if its main purpose is not for peak potential? It's there for the gamers, bro.
Wait, the Steam Deck can only play 80% of the games I've never so much as even launched from my Steam library? Bah! Humbug.
Comedy.
So calling the Steam Deck a PC brings with it this stigma, since it has a Linux OS under the hood. They're not going to be able to win over a ton of existing PC gamers.
Aren't you the same dude that likes to shill for Linux? And even with that being said, I want you to elaborate more on why the Steam Deck doesn't win over PC players. And if your argument is that people want Windows instead of Linux, let me remind you once again that the Steam Deck can download Windows onto it. The reason you made up on what makes a PC. I'm gonna have to ask you to
keep that same energy.
Gamers with what I'll call a legacy library that might have incompatibilities, right? And the Steam Deck has the Deck Verified classification system that will guarantee that games will work great on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, because I doubt you want to get a Steam Deck hands-on only to find out that your favorite game doesn't work without realizing it in the first place. That's what that classification system is for. Does it suck that some games may not be able to work on it? Yeah, it does suck. But would you rather that Valve pull a CDPR and just straight up lie to their audience about this kind of shit? No, didn't fucking think so.
Now, this isn't some self-service thing where game developers are left to self-verify their games are compatible with the Steam Deck. And this is not some crowdsourced baloney that Valve's tried to pull over on the gaming public before. This is Valve investing real money and time and resources into assuring that games are properly classified and confirmed to work with the Steam Deck. This is not something that Valve would do if this were just a PC.
Are you retarded?
I don't know if you knew this, but game optimization is not exclusively a console thing. It has to be done on PC as well. Did you know that games are always created on a PC? Whoa, what a terrifying concept. I don't know what your point is here, mate. So, you're telling me that the Steam Deck is a console because Valve is trying to make sure their games work on it? No, that's not exclusively a console thing. They need to make sure that it works on PC as well. Holy fuck, you're stupid.
After all, PC gamers are used to tweaking and futzing and poking and coercing games to run.
Okay, and luckily for you, the Steam Deck will be using an API that allows developers to optimize their games and make sure they run properly. It's almost like you haven't done your research, my guy.
They will fiddle with settings and add launch parameters and blah blah blah, right? That's PC gaming in a nutshell.
Okay, and luckily for you, you can do just that with the Steam Deck. What? What? You can do that with the Steam Deck? You're goddamn right you can.
So the idea that Valve wants to provide a consistent experience for Deck users, that sounds like a console to me.
Alright, listen here, you insular four-eyes ginger motherfucker. Game optimization and tweaking with game settings is not a console exclusive thing. Get that shit into your thick skull and maybe, just maybe, do some fucking research for once. At least more than you actually have done in this fucking video.
And if you wanted definitive proof that the Steam Deck is not a PC, look at its price point.
Look at its Let me explain something to you, dumb motherfucker. A piece of plastic's price point does not define if it's a console or not. If you're gonna argue that the Steam Deck is a console because of how expensive it is, then I wonder, what do you think should be its price in order for it to be a PC? I mean, I can't believe I'm even asking these questions. The mental gymnastics you have to carry in order to make these statements is beyond me.
At $399 US, Valve is not making much, if any, profit from the base 64GB model.
Wait, so your argument is that the cheapest model is not going to make Valve any profit, despite the fact that it's at a fairly solid price for anyone to buy instead of the two other expensive models, and considering the fact that so many people have already pre-ordered the Steam Deck, and therefore it's a console. I don't even... Are people just brain dead? See, if you're going to tell me that the cheapest model is not going to give Valve any profit, then I'm gonna have to ask you to elaborate on that. Why exactly does the cheapest model prevent Valve from making money off of it? Are the two more expensive models a different case? Are those two models consoles as well? Stop. Fucking stop, man. Stop making these dumb arguments. None of what you said even makes a lick of sense. You're just one giant retard.
And it should go without saying that PC manufacturers don't do that. They don't sell their hardware at a loss.
I don't know what the fuck made you think that Valve selling this at a price like that is a loss. What?
Only game consoles do. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft subsidize the price of the hardware with the expectations that you will buy more games from them later on and they'll make a profit from licensing software. That's how the industry works. And truthfully, Valve's CEO Gabe Newell said as much. Quote, "We've had to be very aggressive in terms of pricing on the deck. Determining a price point was painful, but that was pretty clearly a critical aspect of it."
So, because Gabe Newell said that the pricing for the Steam Deck was painful, that makes you think Valve is losing money. That's not really the case. That just means that Valve were trying to find the correct balance between hardware and pricing. If someone wants a PC that is worth $1,000 or some shit like that, then they need to make sure that the hardware for that PC is good enough for that price. And if you consider the hardware on the Steam Deck, the price is not that bad. And you also have to consider the fact that Valve already makes a shit ton of money off of Steam alone. And yeah, maybe the Steam Deck did eat up a bunch of resources out of Valve, but I can guarantee you that since so many people buy a lot of games off of Steam alone, and the fact that so many people have already pre-ordered the Steam Deck, I think they're doing just fine.
So while the Steam Deck might allow you to access a desktop and install games outside of Steam, it's a game console, first and foremost.
No, it's a portable PC, and all of your arguments on why it should be considered a gaming console are pathetic and retarded.
It has built-in controls like the Switch. It's priced competitively against other consoles, and importantly, it is significantly less expensive than handheld gaming PCs.
And the Steam Deck being less expensive and having built-in controls is a problem? Maybe they made it that way because of competition and for convenience. But in your eyes, that makes it a console, which is beyond retarded.
It runs its own custom operating system that isn't 100% compatible with every game on Steam.
I mean, yeah, the fact that some games won't work properly is a bitch, but just because it has its own operating system, that doesn't mean it's a console. Again, look at things like Linux, Chrome, or the Mac OS. Are you telling me that if anything has those operating systems that it makes it a console? Your logic is retarded.
So this begs the question, is Valve subsidizing this hardware for existing Steam users on the hope that they'll continue to buy more games?
Yeah, they are. What makes you think that the opposite is true? You think one handheld PC is gonna stop people from buying games off of Steam? Explain why that's the case then.
Or are they hoping to release a Trojan horse to market to bring new users to Steam? Who is the Steam Deck actually for?
The handheld and PC gaming market. I mean, I don't know how the fuck that's not obvious to you right now.
It's pretty simple. Console gamers.
No, that's not true, and if your only reasons on why that should be the case is because of its price, its OS, and how it supposedly doesn't allow you to tamper with settings, then you're a fucking idiot.
It's obvious to me that console gamers who have never bought a game on Steam aren't tied down to their legacy Steam library. They're the people that Valve should be going after with the Steam Deck. It makes the most sense, and based on their actions, I think we can infer that Valve knows this. If you're brand new to Steam, you won't need to worry about not being able to play some of your games. You just stick to the Deck Verified section of the Steam store. That's why Deck Verified exists. But the fact is, Valve insists on calling the Steam Deck a PC, and in my opinion, there are few ways to turn off a console gamer faster than calling it a PC.
And all the reasons you provided on why the Steam Deck is not a PC are easily debunkable, and have been debunked. It should be very obvious to you by now that the reason why it's considered a handheld PC is because it's a fucking handheld PC. Your video saying that the Steam Deck's marketing is terrible because it has no exclusives is baffling. You explain that PCs let you tamper with settings even though the Steam Deck can do the exact same thing. You argue that the Steam Deck's price is what makes it a console, and you claim that just because it has Linux on it, that means it's not a real PC, even though thanks to Proton you can download Windows onto it. You are one dumb motherfucker. I'm done with this fucking video. The fact that I had to explain any of this to a Linux shill who argues against Linux beyond a PC is baffling to me. me. That was just painful to sit through. Anyways, I hope you all like this video. Be sure to subscribe because I need clout.